There are two types of people in this world. One type just doesn't want movies to be remade at all. And the other type just doesn't give a shit. What type are you?
I'm the type that's okay with remakes.
Yeah, I'm the type that just doesn't give a shit either. My thing about it is I don't care if it's a bad movie. If I don't like it, then I don't watch it anymore. And I forget that it exists.
Yeah, I won't revisit that one. I'll revisit the original. So we are talking about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the lead up to the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is 2. It's a sequel to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which has already been a sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then Texas 3D is a sequel to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's been 2 prequels to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This franchise is all over the place.
The new one coming out on Netflix, is it going to be...
It's retconning. It's a requel.
Oh, another requel.
Yeah.
These requels are pretty popular these days.
It's retconning all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres that came before, except for the original. So it's a straight sequel to the original, like 50 years later, or something like that.
Should we be worried because it's coming straight to Netflix?
Absolutely.
Because I am.
Yes, absolutely, Ricky, because it was supposed to be released to the theaters, and then they're like, it's supposed to be released like 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm still excited for it, you know. I'm ready for another good slasher.
That's great.
That's what I want to see. I want to see badass, disgusting kills.
I want to see people die.
Yeah. Now, Ricky, have you seen these previous to this last watch?
What do you mean?
The original and the remake.
Yeah. I just recently watched both of them to get caught up. The original I've seen when I was young. It fucked me up a little bit, probably.
Yeah.
And then the remake I saw when it came out. Didn't give a shit about it. We had to rewatch it for this.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Well, let's talk about the good of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, directed by Tobe Hooper. It's a simple story, right? Well told. They don't throw in any plots or anything like that, like in the remake, right? They throw in the plot of the kid getting stolen. We need to save him and all that stuff.
The lady shooting herself in the van at the beginning, which is unnecessary.
Which the original, the beginning, is a crazy maniac guy that just uses this knife and cuts people's arms and stuff. Then the remake, they bring in a girl that's a sympathetic character because she was clearly wronged by the family. And she pulls a gun, which is gross, outside of her
vagina.
Yep,
sure did.
And then blows her head off. And it does have that cool shot where it zooms back through the hole in her face all the way out to the back.
Yeah.
That's a positive of the remake.
Yeah.
The original, though, scared the living shit out of me.
How old were you when you saw it?
When I saw the original?
Yeah. Because I was like 11 or 12.
I think I saw the original 2 weeks before the remake came out. Pretty sure.
So you were an adult?
No. 2003, Ricky. I was 16 years old.
That was that long ago.
The remake, yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw the original because I'm like, oh shit, I haven't seen the old Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm gonna watch that and then watch the remake. And even then, till this day, it's disturbing as shit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like even as an adult, like some movies I used to watch when I was a kid that used to scare me, like they don't scare me anymore. But this one still gave me those feelings that I got when I was a kid. I was like, ugh. Especially when you see Leatherface for basically the first time. Besides the part where he hits the dude in the head with the club, but when he comes out and grabs the girl and then he just puts her on the meat hook, still fucking very jarring to this day. It's because of the low budget. It's because of the way they shot it.
There was passion behind it. The dude cared the way he was putting out there. You could tell that's the difference. I'm sorry to cut you off real quick, but the original, it was his concept. It was his idea. Yeah. So even the shots, like the shots that are down low on the ground, while they're walking up to the house, you see the blue sky behind them, you see the creepy old house in front of them. Just the way it's shot is something special. The other one's just like overproduced and like no style. I mean, it's got style, but no passion behind it. So no sincerity behind it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. It's like when you get a home cooked meal. If that meal is cooked with love, I relate everything back to food. Right?
Yeah.
So if that meal was cooked with love,
why would you do that?
It
has nothing to do with you being overweight.
It has everything to do with me being overweight.
Yeah. That's safe word.
Yeah.
Safe space word, right?
Yeah.
Is that how they say it nowadays as young kids?
I don't pay attention.
Don't give a shit. Yeah. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
We're boomers.
You're gonna put me off what I was saying if you keep talking.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's like when you get a home cooked meal and there's love put in it. You can tell by eating it.
Yeah.
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 So it's like with them, you can tell that there was love put in the first movie. Second movie was just made to make money. That's what it was. There was like, okay, we'll make another Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That'll make fucking good money. Easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the difference. Yeah. But one more thing real quick.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre Remake, I don't think it was a bad movie. I kind of enjoyed it.
Oh, no.
For what it was, I had no expectations going in.
It's a decent remake, all right? It's a decent remake. It's just the original is iconic, and it just lasts the test of time. Like I said, it's very disturbing. It feels like you're watching... The acting is not great, but those characters portray those characters how they should be portrayed. Yeah. It's like you're watching real people in this situation, especially when we get to the gosh damn family with the grandpa that's a zombie that's somehow still alive.
While I was watching that the other day, I was realizing the similarities between House of Thousand Corpses and the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It doesn't end. When you're watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's a non-fiction movie up until the part where the grandpa really comes in and starts sucking the blood on her finger. Then you're like, okay, now we're getting into fiction territory with this. Because like he's like dead, but he's like moving and shit. So it's like it's like the first part of the movie that could not be real. It's like it didn't make sense. And then in House of Thousand Corpses, that's the exact same thing Rob Zombie did, but just to a much more degree.
Yeah. We'll get to Rob Zombie movies eventually. I know how much you like those Rob Zombie movies.
No, I don't. Only a few of them.
I like them all.
Not all of them.
Oh, so we're
Witches of Salem?
Who gives a shit?
Witches of Salem.
Lords of Salem. You'll get there one day, Ricky.
Exactly my
He's
point.
learning as we go along. Okay, now, Ricky, I disagree with you a little bit because the decaying... to me, it's like a decaying old man that they're not taking care of, and he's on his last leg because the whole disturbing scene of him picking up the... Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I don't agree with what you're saying.
You don't? Okay,
No.
fine. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And you could say, okay, it took you out of the movie. It took the realism
It
out
didn't
of the
take-
movie.
it didn't take
I
it
didn't
out
say
of
it didn't take you out. I
yeah.
said it took the realism out of the movie.
Well,
for
no,
you.
it just we started stepping into fiction territory in a non-fiction movie.
Okay, yeah. But it's not a nonfiction movie. It's loosely based off Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
Okay, this is why this movie feels way more raw, way more disturbing, is the furniture in the old movie, everything in the house taken off of Ed Gein? Geinish?
Ed Gein. Ed Gein.
Gein. Something along, somewhere along those lines.
It's Ed Gein.
Yeah, fact check this. In the original, you got all this furniture that's designed from human bones and human skin and stuff, and it shows it. It looks realistic and all that. And the remake, it might be in there, I don't know, but it didn't draw my eye. Like, they didn't do a good job with it. They have more money to do all this stuff.
Well, no, they had story in that movie, so they didn't need to focus on little things. That's
Yeah.
what it was. They didn't give a shit.
They didn't care to make it disturbing either. Like this one, the reason why it's scary, there's no jump scares or anything like that, is because I could see that could be a real situation you're put in where you're just in this backwoods in some hillbilly town.
Yeah.
And dude, because believe me, I've been in those situations before. Ricky.
Well, yeah, you are from Alabama.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm saying about the nonfiction, because you said earlier it could be fiction. No, it's the whole beginning is nonfiction because some crazy people living in a house chopping people up and eating them could absolutely happen. All that can absolutely happen.
It has happened.
But when
happen.
When you bring the grandpa in, that's pretty much dead. I mean, old people.
He's decaying.
Hey, people don't decay until they're dead.
I understand
First
that.
off.
I don't fact check this on that.
No, I mean,
Just fact check it.
my grandma was like 90 something when she passed away, and she's like looked old as shit. Yeah, but she wasn't decaying by any means.
Maybe it was a skin, like somebody else's face they put on him like a mask. They built a mask for him, and his face is like, like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that wasn't his real face we saw in the movie. Holy shit! I've seen this movie dozens of times, and I think that's what they fucking did.
No, we don't have any proof of that. We'll have to go back and
Fact
look.
check us.
His hands looked very decayish as well.
Well, they probably put, fake hands on him and shit. Dude, they skin people alive. It makes sense. That's my opinion. I'm running with it.
Yeah.
Now, the most disturbing scene is here you go.
What's that?
Do it. What they did in the movie.
I'm not gonna stick my feet. No,
Take a knife and...
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
do it.
I've seen it.
But also, like, where he takes the hammer, and that's what brings back the realism to me, because they're trying to do everything with them. And it hits her a couple times. You're like, oh, God. And then she finally breaks out of this house because they are dumb people. They're dumb hillbillies.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely. And you're thinking the whole time, like, dude, how do you not catch? This is my only nitpick here.
He's that far away.
He's that far away,
like a whole football field.
Exactly. But he's slicing her up with his fucking blade, and that's what gets him caught. Leatherface is pretty far behind.
Because he's fat.
Yes. Now, the only negative I have about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is... What's his name?
Franklin! Yeah. Come on, Franklin! Come on, it'll be fun, they said! Come on, Franklin! I'll spit on you. I don't give a shit. It's for, so we gotta do what we gotta do.
Did you eat a steak today?
I had 3 steaks today. Yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit more in depth about the remake.
Sure.
Best part of the movie? Can we do 1, 2, 3? Jessica
beginning.
Biel's acting.
Okay.
Acting.
I think he's talking about her breasts.
And ass. Hey, gorgeous woman, right? Good actress.
Hey.
This is what I think they mean by, like, younger. Well, she should be getting roles.
There's many reasons why I would like to be Justin Timberlake, and she is one of them.
Yeah, right? Why has she stopped getting movie roles? She's a great actress, and she's beautiful still to this day.
She doesn't have to work anymore. She's with Justin Timberlake, which I would also bang.
Yes. I will call this out, though. She does great in the movie. Not her fault at all. But you know from the very beginning, unlike the original, you don't know who the fuck's gonna survive in the original. It could be anybody. You don't know if anybody's gonna survive. I seriously thought everybody's gonna... Every time I see the movie, that's another thing it does well. Every time I see the movie, I still forget, oh, she's the one that survives. She survives. This one, you know from the beginning that she's gonna survive. So it throws that out the window, right?
That's true, yeah.
You know, everybody else is gonna die. But my main positive outside of Jessica Biel's acting is R. Lee Ermey. You know who he is?
I don't.
The sheriff.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the crazy sheriff.
Yeah, he's good.
Fan-freaking-tastic, Ricky. He's the scariest part of the movie to me. How do you feel about this Leatherface compared to the other Leatherface?
I like the original Leatherface more because I like my Leatherface to be a fat fucking coward that's too stupid to get anything fucking right. Yeah, too stupid to get anything right. So anytime I see a Leatherface that's intimidating at all, I'm not a fan of it at all. Because that should be one character that remains just like ignorant and stupid, and I think that's cowardly. You know, like in the
Makes
first one,
him a lot smarter in this one.
Yeah, in the first one, he was a fucking coward. There's no doubt about it. Like just the way he acted and shit. Like yeah, he can overpower you, but he's very cowardly. Yeah, rewatch it.
Like the original one, he was a little cowardly. With his family.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm talking about the original.
Yeah,
that's what I like about Leatherface.
Man, we're on the same
character.
wavelength.
Yeah,
and then
think
sometimes I'm like over here and sometimes you're over
but
there.
then
But I should just fucking open up my goddamn ears, take the fucking fat out of my fucking ears and listen to you. I'm so sorry.
Just listen to me like occasionally, because like I get some things right.
Yeah. No, you just point out something to me I never would have mentioned.
What?
The original one, he was a little bit like you could tell that he's not the... He's the cowardly one. He's the one that they're controlling.
He's a big, fat, stupid oof.
Yeah, and this one he's a little bit more in control, like more scary, a little bit more, more fake.
If I want that, I'll go watch Friday the 13th.
Did you notice in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they did not have to use a musical score. It was all silent. That's what helped out the documentary like feel to it, the rawness to it.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, next time you watch it, Ricky, there's no music and it just makes everything a little bit more disturbing. It looks like somebody's actually shooting this and then releases this out to the public for us to see. The new one, I'm pretty sure they have music. I don't give a shit. Ricky, how do you rate the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre? What's your
Oh, we're doing rating. Yeah. We're doing a rating thing on this one. Okay, I'll give the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre a 8.6.
8.6.
Why do you always judge my scores, dude?
This is a classic. This is an all-timer. I'm going 10.
Okay.
10, right. 10.
Okay, idiot.
Okay. Okay, the remake. What do you give the remake?
3.8.
Oh, you didn't like it at all.
I did kind of like it.
You just said fucking...
I don't get ratings, okay? Can I redo my ratings?
Yeah.
Okay, original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 8.6. I'll stick with that one.
Okay. Thank God, because I didn't want you to go back, because then you're going to look like a fucking loser after I said something, then you're going to change your fucking mind. Don't do that. It's all right. You have your opinions, I have my opinions. We all have opinions, Rick.
The remake, I'll go... because I did kind of enjoy it, but there's a lot of things I didn't like about it, but I'll go 4.2.
I'm going to go a 6. 4.2 is still pretty low, but okay, I'm going to go a 6.8. And I'll tell you why. Because the little tiny things they change up to make it slightly different from the original one does not fucking work. Giving it a little bit of plot with the stolen child. Making the hitchhiker in the beginning a sympathetic female character over this crazy, delusional, freaking psychopathic brother from the first one. And the grandpa character. Changing it from a decaying old man that we disagree on realistic or not, whatever. The new one is just he's missing legs and he's controlling the whole family, and there is none of that.
Takes me out of it.
Yeah.
People are going to not take my ratings seriously.
Yes, they will.
But here's the thing about it. I forget that we do the ratings thing, and then you spring it in there. I'm like, oh shit, and I'd say number. I got to think about that more.
Yeah, well, you give it 4.2, you give it 4.2, you give it 8.6, 8.6. Hey, guess what? It's higher than IMDb
I feel like
score.
I was too rough on the new one, though. If I'm thinking 4.2, like you're getting in my head saying that's too low, and I tend to agree with you on this one.
Wrap it up.
Okay.
We don't care anymore.